often see podcasts of men, and also, men in real life, in conversation, say that, women and men, we don't care about the same things. Men are simple creatures. It doesn't take much to please a man. They don't care about if you got kids, or, if your baby daddy situation is together is what's preferred for a man. Or they don't care about where you work or your educational background. They want to be loved, don't care for it. Whatever is specific to that man, right? And then even if a man reaches a level of success, he don't have an issue of dating down. So therefore, his dating pool is wide open. Versus when a woman reaches a certain level of success, she only wants to date someone on her success level, or someone higher than her. And then,
well, let's go ahead and put this to rest early in the conversation. First of all, I always like to give credit to the content creator. So that link will be down in the description. Also, make sure you guys tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. I did a phenomenal live stream last night, and it was absolutely awesome. And so we had a good time with that. And then last but not least, Teach Henley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Hit a like for the algorithm. But let's deep dive into this. Number one, I am a huge advocate for men not dating women that have baby daddies. Never go into it looking to be a step crash dummy. And even if you start to interact with a woman that have children and you say, well, I'm just going to deal with her for the moment, I'm not necessarily looking at her as a wife. I've seen too many guys get caught up like that. Too many guys get into it. They start overlooking things that otherwise they wouldn't have paid attention to, or when they set their standards or their preferences at a certain level, and then they all of a sudden start falling in love, and then they start compromising and rationalizing why it's okay to then deal with people that they would normally deal with. I don't think that you should finish another man's save game. And I know that a lot of women see that as a problem because they believe that their standards are higher when they start to divest themselves against the men that they had children with. But I'm a huge advocate for keeping families together and making sure that you do not, under any circumstance, finish another man's save game. Now, with that being said, the reason that I do that is because I think that we need to stop dating down. And women, obviously, they're always monkey branching. They are always hypergamous. They always want the best available option. Even if they don't qualify for whatever reason, they still make themselves available to the best available man, thinking that they're going to somehow, some way qualify and make his life more miserable as a result of her being there. But we need to stop dating down. And I'm not a huge advocate for dating. I think that you should wind up marrying your best friend, but your best friend should be somebody that's in your network. It should be somebody that's going in the same direction with you. It should be somebody that's aligned with you, equally yoked. And so as an advocate for families, even if you decide not to have children, I don't think that guys are making smart decisions by rolling through the McDonald's drive-thru, seeing a chick and saying, hey, man, can I get your number? And then all of a sudden enhancing her life, and all she got to do is be fit, feminine, and friendly, and that's the end of the conversation. I'm not a fan of that. I know that our inherent nature is to just be off of optics, and then we just gonna love you regardless because we love harder than women, I believe so. But in a general sense, I'm not heavy on men dating down. I think that that's where the majority of issues come from, and why you need to get aligned with somebody that has just as much to lose in you, as well as somebody that is going in the same direction as you, is something that I am now standing on. I am pushing for it more. I am advocating for it more. And I do not think that guys are doing the thing that's in their own best interest. Let's hear more of what she has to say, because she's talking about why men are more successful at dating. And I would argue the contrary, because I would argue that men can get more availability when you get to a certain level because they are not as picky, they are not as choosy as women that may get to a certain level and say, well, I only want to date men on my level. However, I would say that because we control the options for marriage, the access to marriage, I think that we should be a lot more picky than we are, and then we will find ourselves in better situations. We need to be choosing better. But let's hear the rest of what she got to say, and then we're going to come back and have this conversation.
then her dating pool is literally slim to none. And you got to imagine how many options that man got because he reached the same level of success that you have. And I'm just like, oh my God. And it all makes sense. It all makes sense. But I'm going to just speak as if I was a successful woman who reached a certain level of, would I want to date down? Nope. Honestly, I wouldn't. Nope, I would not want that, you know? So it's just like, I would want to date up. I would want to date someone on my level. It's hard for me to find somebody on my level now. And I feel like I definitely practice basic bullshit. And it's hard to find somebody on my level now. So dating lower than what I am now is not appealing to me as a woman. Never but then again, just like all the men said.
Not even if they all the way at the bottom. Not even if they in the mud. Not even when they wearing pink wigs and they got butterfly eyelashes. They never think that they qualify for the thing that they qualify for. They never are aligning with the guys that's right there in front of them that's probably best for them. They never think that they are just the bottom of the totem pole. All of them deserve a great man. I don't know how many times I heard that one.
Your dating pool will be slim to none, because when you find someone who is worthy of dating you or on your same level, you got to imagine how many options he got.
Yep.
And I'm true. Like,
she's right.
Dating is just hard. It's hard. But even if you do, as a woman, if you do date down as a man, as a woman, if you do date down and you find a man that is, less than you, you got to think about his ego. Is he going to be okay with being, less than you in the financial category? Is he okay? Because men, they pride be hurt. They pride be mad hurt. So it's just like, you knew walking into this, I had more than you, I make more than you. But
again, I'm not a huge advocate for dating, but do y'all go into the situation, and I was asking them this on After Hours, do y'all go into the situation already knowing exactly what the other person is making before y'all even really, really deep dive and start to think about courting each other for marriage and all of that stuff? Do y'all already lead with that? Like, oh man, this is how much I make, this is how much you make, and then that's that. That's kind of weird to me. That is very weird to me. I think that guys need to downplay significantly, especially if you are successful, need to downplay what they do, because you got to let them know that you're there for the right reasons. You got to force them, or you got to make them to make a decision on whether or not they truly with you for the right reasons, or they with you because of what you do for a living and they start to live a soft life. I'm telling you, y'all so scared of saying what you really believe and being 100 with a person and basically, being authentic as a person on the inside instead of leaving with all of the superficial BS that don't add any kind of value to your life. It's just something that they're leaning into and that they choose you more for, but they're not really with you for the right reasons. I think that you got to downplay your success and don't even talk about that. And I'm not even just talking about just in relationships. I'm talking about in normal social settings. When I go out, I don't tell people I'm a content creator so they can look it up and try to figure out how many subscribers that I got and all of that stuff. I don't care about that, right? When I'm out hanging a lot of times, I'll just say, hey, I work for a bank, or, I don't even like to say real estate, honestly, because it's too cliche. So many different things that you can do in real estate. I just say, I work for a bank, or I don't say that I'm a software engineer or anything like that. No, I just work for the banking system or whatever, blah, 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 such, yeah, man, I used to work at Comerica Bank, now I transferred to it. And I just get it with that. Normal person, normal everything thing. Don't get into anything that will lead them to believe that you are a high earner or you make a whole lot of money or anything like that. Just chill, slow motion, and let them get to know you. And when we connect with each other, we'll know if we want to continue to do business with each other based off of character, based off of principles, based off of whether or not you're a good person, fun to be around. That's how I evaluate talent. That's how I evaluate people. It's not what your socioeconomic status is, but you'll know whether or not they're a broke person, and that's the person that you vet out of your system as far as who you're supposed to be with financially as a guy.
So it's hard. It's hard. I wouldn't want to date down, but also I wouldn't want to date a man that is jealous of me for having more, or he's mean and nasty towards me, or he got secret animosity. I wouldn't want that. The dating pool is more beneficial to men, I feel, if you are a successful woman.
You guys ain't really got no.
It's a hard pill to swallow. I'm not suggesting anybody date down, but you will have more variety if
Whatever. Like, where do we get these such high standards from?
you do, because a man could date up, a man could date down, but one thing he can do is date.
I mean, she got a point, but it's because our standards are so low sometimes that it's not best for us. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, Teach Henley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Peace.